A beautiful blue-hair lady with blue eyes asked a blonde man with emerald eyes to end it. But she wants it to be painless. Her words confused him. He inquires what she's talking about. She stares at him intently with her sky-blue eyes. This man is her faithful servant. His name is Adian, who has the burning desire to attack her with one of his various spells. He has the most insane character settings. She tells him to forget about the spell, which makes him nervous. He tries to play it off, but she knows he's lying. She woke up a few days ago, in the novel called The Crown of Dawn. She had written the novel for her sister, who loves stories and was sick at the hospital. But the book isn't interesting. She read the book to her sister so many times her voice became hoarse. In her old life, her life revolved around her sister. She was an orphan who was adopted by a childless couple. They were loving and kind, but a short time later her sister was born. Unfortunately, she was very sicky and her so-called parents blamed her for everything. They starved her until her stomach ached and she couldn't move. They cursed her and even beat her with anything they could find. They brainwashed her that her life was tied to her sister. Everything she learned and what she did were decided by her family for the sake of her sister. Sometimes she hated her sister, because she had to follow her parents' orders and do everything for her sister reluctantly. However, when her sister laid on the bed from the deepest part of her heart, she couldn't hate her, which made her feel worse. Their relationship wasn't right. It was so complex that not even words could describe it. They were aware her time was limited. Before she turned 20 she passed away. So they no longer had use for her and throw her out with a box of her belongings. On the street she felt like there was no reason to live. Atop a building she stood as the rain came down and the thunder roared. She was so exhausted she couldn't think of anything else. She was tired of the pain. She took off her shoes, and walked to the edge in wet socks. Yet it still hurts whenever she thinks of her sister. She wondered if she ever thought about how she dedicated her entire life to her. She stares at the moon. It seems so stunning. Finally, in a bit everything will be okay. Yes, it's now her end. Before it all fades she glances at the moon one last time. Surprisingly, it didn't hurt. Is she in the world after Earth, where there are maids, cake, jewelry, tea and most of all it's bright? A red-hair maid glances at her. She shouts, "Lady Serena, finally you've woken up." Her high-pitched voice causes her ear to bleed. "It's been 4 days since she fell down the stairs," exclaims her mother. Her father states she was very worried for her. She wondered who they are. She coughed. Her family imagination go wild of her spitting blood. A doctor informs them she's been unconscious for so many days she has trouble talking. This handsome young man is Serena's older brother Aaron White. And the two loving couple are her loving parents Duchess and Duke. Also she has now become Serena White. That leaves her with one important question: where has the old Serena gone? She don't know, don't care. She falls asleep instantly. Moments after being Serena she enjoys the privilege of having lots of food and eating on the bed. Serena's parents visit and asked if she's feeling better. She replies yes. Her mother is overjoyed. Serena is touched. But she can't call them mother and father, at least not yet. She asked them where she is and who they are. They asked if she doesn't remember. They tell her she's at the White's mansion and introduce themselves. They question if she remembered a set of people. They asked if she recollect the ball she recently attended. Serena remembers reading about it in the childish novel Crown of Dawn. The villainess in the book was Serena, on the person bringing her tea. Is the kid she took home after he was bullied in the street when she was little. However, she considered him more of a slave than a servant. Throughout the time serving her, he had followed and did everything she said despite not having any sense of loyalty inside him. Later on he would betray Serena. He wanted to end her more than anyone else. She tells him to leave. She wants to sleep. She then orders the others to leave. As they left, they resemble sad puppies. She takes that alone time to roll in the soft and cozy bed. She could lie there for the rest of her life. She will be Serena. The villainous Serena was a greedy woman. She envies and wants everything she doesn't have. The Duke title, which was passed to her brother Aaron, was not an exception. But she wasn't intelligent enough to get that position or anything else she wanted. She would study days and nights until she was crying. But it didn't work. Aaron was an excellent and intelligent man, unlike Serena. Moreover, every talented person around Serena made her jealousy worse. Later on, her jealousy exploded. Serena had involved herself in her brother's business, which was related to the protagonist of the story, Princess Ariel. Serena's brother and the protagonist fell in love. Unfortunately, Serena was succeeding in destroying their relationship. Eventually, her wrongdoings and everyone involved were found out, resulting in her despair. Being caught, Serena had lost everything and soon became weak and sick. At the age of 23, her lifeless body was left behind the bars alone. Currently, this Serena doesn't want to do anything or want anything. Living or dying, she doesn't care. She doesn't have any ambitions. She ponders if she was wrong from the beginning. She jumped because it was her intention and she wasn't hesitant. She ponders why she's living in someone else's body. She thinks it's a waste. She can't bother to think about it. She lays in her side and sleeps. Upon closing her eyes, she's returned to the moment her sister time ended. On the day she passes, not a single tear shed from her eyes. She believed she had done her duty. Her dream then shifts to Serena's last moments. She was on the ground in immense pain. Her palms are bloody and bruised. Yet she grabs onto the bars, screaming for help. Her mouth was dry. Her hair was disheveled. She cried and her body was bruised. But that didn't matter. She just didn't want to be alone in her final moments. Her body was aching in pain. She coughed blood and stares at her hand. Her once gorgeous sky blue eyes were now as dark as coal. She hated being like that, but it's her fault because she was bad. She screams for help one last time. She finally meets her end. She looks down on the host, realizing the host had called a lonely person like her to fulfill her wish. The moment she decided to exit her old world, she was called because she has no regrets. She believes the host didn't want to end in pain. She wanted her end to come before her body was filled with disease. And she has to become lonely. Well, it doesn't matter. Because from now on she will live in Serena's body until she passes at the age of 23. She then wakes up. She thinks listening to the wish of the deceased isn't that bad or that simple either. She's been trying to get out of bed to aim for a better life since then. But every time she goes to a place, the maids actively takes care of her. So she had to order them to stay back. The weather is beautiful. She thinks of taking a nap. She then hears the sound of a sword. She wondered who was there. It's the Duke's manor, so she went back to sleep. Suddenly she hears it again. She wonders why is it so noisy. She crawls in the direction of the sound. She spots a white-haired knight with purple eyes sweating a lot. She wondered if there couldn't be a training ground inside the Duke's mansion. She decides to back up and leave the scene. Unfortunately, her hair got caught in the tree. She noticed her hair was extremely thin and she couldn't get out by herself. She has to ask for help. She calls out to the knight. He stops and looks around. He steps back, until he was out of sight. Serena thought he had left. Suddenly he is standing before her. Meanwhile, the bolter Eidos is enjoying some cake. He doesn't know where she is. But he hopes nothing happens. The knight verify that it's Serena and Bose. She tells him her hair is tangled and stuck in the bushes. He then laughs. Serena wonder if the situation was funny. He stops laughing, but he was trying to hold back because of etiquette. He's the Duke's personal knight, the hero of the novel. She addressed him as Mr. Lulu. He corrects her that it's Lucas. She informs him due to her hair she can't move. He gently untangle her hair, then thinks to himself she's not worthy to be the Duke's daughter. The Duke and others are very aware of Serena's unsavory actions. But since Princess Ariel didn't want to make a big deal out of it, everyone decided to remain quiet. As expected, Serena's not worthy of the Duke's family. But she seems different somehow. The news had reached him about her memory loss. Surprisingly, the mood change has well. It's hard to see her as the princess who made noise and scandals all the time. But this is good for the family, since their dignity won't be reduced. He thinks it would be better if she continues to lose her memory. Serena thanks Lucas. He gives his best smile. Serena thinks Lucas is a hero. But one thing for sure, Lucas really likes the heroine Ariel. When Serena was 19 in the winter, it was snowing and Ariel was tricked by Serena and kept waiting an errand on the snow road. But Lucas stepped in to help her when she was about to collapse from the cold. With such kindness and care after breaking up with Aaron due to Serena's influence. She fell in love with Lucas. At the moment Serena is 19 and it's spring. Winter will come in a few months, so Lucas only sees Ariel as a classmate in the academy. She wonders if she can improve their relationship. She calls his name in a somewhat seductive tone. Her face gets closer. Lucas is becoming nervous. Her lips are inches away from his. She then leans to his ear asking if he wants to be friends with her. She believes if she befriend him, he'll definitely be sad at her funeral. That should be enough to fulfill Serena's wish to have someone to mourn for her. She can't pass up this opportunity. However, Lucas rejects her instantly. They awkwardly sit in silence. Looking back, she never had any friends in the past. Since elementary school she went straight to the hospital after school to take care of her little sister. That never changed even when she grew up, or her parents would never forgive her. They claimed having a friend would hinder her sister's rehabilitation. They asked if she didn't feel sorry for her. Who was she to have friends? She had to apologize. They threatened to kick her out if she ever disobeyed. But after everything they got rid of her after her sister met her end. So it's only natural for Lucas to reject her. It feels so annoying. But it seems she found a solution. When she was a kid, she used to sneak out and play games behind her parents' back. It was a popular game at the time and a hot topic for her classmates to talk about. The first time she played the game she didn't know anything at first. And just ran into places with big bosses, since her attack status was too weak. Her character met its end from the monster's attack. When she saw her HP instantly drop to 0, she was stunned. Her interest in the game subsided, and she quietly returned to the way she once was. Now she feels the same way, just a bit disappointed. She apologized to the former host. She never believed that she could get anyone to mourn at her funeral. She thinks Serena wanted to exit peacefully without disease. So she'll try her best to exit painlessly. She stares down at the concrete pavement. She remembers Serena's family's kind and heartwarming demeanor. They most likely will cry for her. This is a better exit than in her past life. She leans off the balcony until she's falling. The scene cuts to Lucas. He wondered why he found her alone and why she wanted to be his friend. He didn't want to, because he's aware of her personality. But he feels he might have been a bit too hasty. Suddenly he feels strange, like a confusing feeling. The bell tower is about to ring, but Lucas doesn't like it. It feels like he's missing something. He remembers she seemed disappointed. At that time it seems she lost her soul. It suddenly hits him. He turns and runs towards the bell tower. He runs up the stairs sweating and panting. He spots her standing on the balcony. She's about to fall. Lucas rushed to catch her. He grabs her arm and hugs her. Serena was shocked he'd save her. She tells him it hurts. He drops her on the ground. She asked if he followed her. He was shocked to see how calm she was. He asked if it's because he rejected her. Is the reason she wanted to end it. She bluntly exclaims no. Although she feels like nothing after getting rejected. Doesn't mean she wants to end it because of that. She tells him it's not his fault. He asked why she tried to jump. She asked if they're close enough to talk about it. He exclaims they don't have to be close. She tells him not to feel guilty. She asked him to leave. She walked a few steps and felt a lot of pain in her pelvis. Lucas asked if he leaves if she'll try it again. She exclaims who does that twice in a day. Sometimes she hesitates when she thought about it. If it was so easy then she would have ended it at 15 years old. She looked down the stairs and wondered how she would get down with a injured pelvis. She looks at him. She wants him to go down first, so she can go down on all fours. Analyzing the situation, he lifts her off the ground and brings her down. She feels so comfortable that she fell asleep. Lucas wondered what she thought at the end. At the Whites' mansion, Serena's father blames himself for what had happened. He feels pain in his chest. His son comes to his aid. He exclaims he's fine. He wondered what could have caused her to do such a foolish thing. At that moment Eden is eavesdropping. Later on a doctor asked if she's feeling any pain anywhere. She exclaims her pelvic. He asked why she tried to end it. She exclaims it was all annoying. He exits the room and informs her family that she's seriously mentally ill. They bring the conversation elsewhere. He tells them what she told him. He explains she must have been stressed and tired after losing her memories. Also because of emotional deprivation, now she's like a person without a soul. The Duchess cries in her son's arms. The Duke asked if there's a cure. The doctor states there is no cure, they can only observe her. If they tried to force her memories back it will get worse. The Duke begs Lucas to protect his daughter. He nods. Aaron covers his mouth in trembling voice, says Serena's name. He also wanted to be by her side, but he didn't want to hurt her. Lucas assures him everything will be fine. Lucas is the son of a poor baron. He was only able to attend the academy thanks to the Duke. In addition, he prepared a private room for him at his residence. He treated him the same as his son. Aaron is like a brother to him. So he knows how much he cares for his sister, and how much Serena hates her brother. Later on Serena tells her butler to get out. He tells her he can't in a worried tone. She realized something was wrong with her answer to the doctor. He must have brought him there, because he was the closest to her before the memory lost. But she's worried he'll attack her head with a rock. While she's sleeping, she doesn't want to meet her end in such a senseless way. Serena informs him she has no plans of leaving. She tells him to take a seat. Since his feet must be hurting from standing too long. He wonders what she's trying to do, before smiling and stating he's fine. She exclaims she's tired of being wary of him, so he should sit. He's confused but turns to take a seat. Serena plops on the bed. She's extremely bored. There aren't many interesting novels and there's no internet. If she wants to hear a song, she has to bring the whole orchestra in her room. She's surprisingly regretting ending her first round. She decides to wait for the next opportunity to try it again. She falls asleep and Iden sits pondering something. For Serena, reality is sometimes bittersweet, when everyone around her doesn't give her a chance to end herself. Iden sits in her room all day and Lucas comes to her room every day. She believes he does it because it said on the door of her room that if he checked on her every day he would get a plus. She orders Iden to look at her door. He checks on the door. He states it was polished this morning. Serena suggests they go out for a bit. Moments later she walks along the beautiful pavement with she thought that the situation would improve if she calmed down and reassures the people around her. But after 5 days nothing has changed. For 5 days straight Serena's parents have came and look at her with teary eyes. She wonders what to do. She believes Serena is very loved. She wonders why OG Serena is making her live like this. While walking she meets her brother, a beautiful supporting man. He inquired if she is okay. She exclaims yes. He's very delighted to hear she's fine. Serena thinks he is confused. She believes he's worried about his precious little sister. But there was no way to talk to her because he knew her personality. He only came to her room once a day for the past 5 days. He took great care to make sure Serena was fully recovered and was not upset. He even tried not to show his face as much as possible. She asked him to go for a walk with her. Everyone is shocked. She tells him it's okay if he doesn't want to. He gets nervous and tells her it's not like that. He submits, and they walk together. Serena tells them they can go back. Since she is going for a walk with her brother, Aaron assures them he will take care of her. As they walk along the path, Aaron tries to find words to break the awkward atmosphere. She breaks the ice and asks how he's feeling. He responds he's fine. He thanks her for the concern. He asked if her memories of still not returned. She exclaims yes, but not completely. She tells him a few things she remembers. She remembers very clearly that she used to hate him. A wave of despair falls over Aaron. She wonders if he thinks she'll hate him again. She's well aware Serena's feelings will never be hers. If Serena's feelings are affection for him, she doesn't believe she could do that. Aaron begins to fidget, unsure of how to go further with the situation. She exclaims she's sorry for hating him before. Aaron asks her what she's talking about. She bows and apologizes again. His eyes are filled with confusion. He questions if she's going to try and end herself again. She exclaims she's not joking, from the bottom of her heart she's really sorry. Aaron can hardly believe someone like Serena is apologizing. It's like the world is upside down. He accepts her apology. Strangely, when she calls him brother constantly, she doesn't feel as embarrassed as she used to with her sister. She wonders if it's because she feels Aaron is closer to her. Aaron states since her body is not fully recovered yet, it would be better to lay down even if it's uncomfortable for a while. She sees that Aaron had no confidence when he told her that. Just like she did when she stood in front of her parents. Because she wanted to be loved, she always cared about their gazes. She wonders what to do to make him feel less disgusted with her. The more she thinks about it, the more similar Aaron is to her childlike self. If she could go back and meet her younger self, she would hold her. Then tell her, "Don't look forward to such a thing, they won't love you until the end." She wonders if she told Aaron the same, how would he react? She tells him she has a request. The next day it is revealed that she wanted to meet the princess. Aaron sincerely believes that she wants to meet her and apologize. They wonder what made Serena do this. His father believes since her memory hasn't fully recovered yet is the cause of her change. They discussed if such a child and the princess should actually meet. Aaron assures them that it's okay. He informs them some of her memory have returned and she has apologized for all the bad things she has done to him. His mother tells him he must accompany her. Later on, Ariel is informed of the situation. Ariel is the princess of the Franklin Empire and the protagonist of this story. Serena is looking beautiful as ever. Serena thinks Ariel really looks like a heroine in person. She believes they are a beautiful couple. Also, their faces is so similar, like husband and wife. She questions if they are destined to be lovers. In the novel she couldn't believe that the author made Serena's brother into a sub-male lead. Suddenly both of them began fidgeting uncontrollably. Just like rabbits, she stands up and sincerely apologized to the princess for her shameful behavior until that moment.